Hello and welcome to today's video. If you've been reading my blog, you'll know that I've taken a break from training because I've been doing it for the last 2 years and I'm fed up. I want to start having some fun and I want to start exploring this wonderful country that we live in. So this year's challenge, well, started from the 17th of June. So I've given myself a year to do it. And what I'm planning on doing is I'm planning on riding in every single county in England. There's 47 of them. So I thought I'd start by videoing a ride that I'm doing close to home. It's entirely in Hampshire, it's where I live. And well, I've got my new bike and I'm desperate to try it out properly. So I'm heading for the hills and the gravel, and as it's been raining for a few days, probably quite a bit of mud, if truth be told. See that little rabbit? I've been having to think about some of the things that kind of put people off, or people are a bit scared of when they first start to go off-road and gravel. And on a day like today, when everything's sticky, muddy, and the gravel really it's hard to find, to be honest. It's under the mud and the puddles somewhere. So I thought there's a few little tips that will help you should you be tackling gravel for the first time and you hi. Yeah, if you're tackling gravel for the first time and you suddenly come across bits of terrain that you weren't expecting, here's a few tips. So if you come across quite thick mud and puddles, first thing I'd suggest is see if you can find the route that is the most gravelly, because any gravel, small stones, that sort of thing, is going to improve your grip. So that's tip number one. Tip number two, if you have no choice but to go through the mud, again, try to find the bit of mud that appears to be the most compacted, if you can. And if you can't, the trick really is to just go in a straight line. As soon as you hit your brakes or you change direction, you're going to come off, but at least you'll have a soft landing. But yeah, if you can keep going straight in a nice easy gear, really just so that your pedals are just spinning away, you'll find it's a lot easier to get through the mud. Hi. And tip number three, if you encounter a choice between puddles and mud, always go for the puddles. This may seem a bit counterintuitive, but actually the mud that isn't covered in water is very, very slidey, and it can be a bit like trying to steer on ice. If you go through a puddle, as long as it doesn't look like a ridiculously big, deep, up to your waist kind of puddle, if you go through the puddle and again keep going straight, you can often find that yeah, you get wet feet, you get wet legs, but you don't fall off. It's yeah, I don't know quite why, but it's just easier. If it's mud and puddles, go through the puddles. So there's 3 tips. let me think. Oh yeah, another tip as well is if you suddenly find yourself on something that's a little bit technical, then it can be really easy to just try and tense yourself up, and that's actually the worst thing you can do, because what you're trying to do, what you end up doing actually is stopping the bike wheels finding the best line through. Always look ahead to where you want to get to and loosen off your arms. It can be difficult, but if you just have your arms loose, they effectively act as a suspension, and your bike will just bounce over the stones and the rocky bits. Yeah, and obviously one thing that's clear is if it looks like it might be a bit technical, try not to go down too fast in the first place. Just stopped in this lovely old shelter here for a bit of lunch, but I thought I'd just show you my bike. So it's a brand new gravel bike from Ribble, and it's amazing. It's a titanium frame. I'm running 650 tyres, I'm running 650 wheels on it, with, what are they? WTB Venture 47 tyres on it, and they're pretty good actually. They've coped with all the mud, all the puddles, all the gravel and everything really, really well once I got them at the right pressure, so that's good. But let me show you around. Here she is. It's the wheels, and the forks have loads of attachments on them for cargo cages. There are attachments underneath for more bottles, some there, and there's also some just under there as well. Running a pretty big cassette, and as always I've got my lovely reliable tailfin on it, which fits on it beautifully. Now I knew it was going to be a bit muddy today, so I've attached mudguards as well, but I wouldn't always have the mudguards. They're really easy to take on and off, but they've saved me an awful lot of mud in my face. But also my bottles, one of the things if you're doing gravel it's likely to be mucky, is make sure you've got bottles with lids on if you're going to use bottles and not a camelback. Look. So, there we go. Stops all the mud getting in. One of the things I forgot to tell earlier when I was saying about how to ride on gravel is one of the things you don't necessarily need to do is sit on your saddle all the time. So if it gets a little bit rocky, or you end up with a lot of tree roots, actually the worst thing you can be doing is sitting on your saddle. So just raise your legs up a little bit, use your thigh muscles to balance yourself, and you create yourself some extra cushioning. If you hit a rock or a tree root whilst you're on the saddle, it's one, it's going to hurt you, and two, it could cause you a puncture. Whereas if you just take that weight off your saddle, you do it pretty much incident free. So I'm now almost at the top of Butser Hill, where the South Downs Way and King Alfred's Way cross each other. I love it up here. It's one of my favourite viewpoints in the whole area. It's a bit of a cloudy day, so you might not be able to see it clearly, but I'll zoom in a minute. But from up here you can see right over to West Sussex and across the Solent also to the Isle of Wight. It's a bit of a grey old day today, so I'm not sure how much you'll see, but here goes, let's have a go. highest points around, and it's well worth a visit. Just down the road is Queen Elizabeth Country Park, which is a great place to go and park if you want to just ride up here, or mountain bike, or run, or walk. Yeah, it's a great place to come. A really nice part of Hampshire. Cafe at the Sustainability Centre is right on the South Downs Way, and they do breakfasts and light lunches and sandwiches and really nice cakes, which I've just had a piece of ginger cake. Gets very, very busy with cyclists on a Saturday, Sunday morning, but it's well worth stopping at before you tackle the next bit of South Downs Way, if that's what you're doing. Yeah, you can't miss it, it's right on the route. Pretty pleased with myself, because this is a hill I've only ever climbed on the road, and now I'm at somewhere with a stunning view, and I'll show you the other side of the view in a minute. But I'm really chuffed that I've just climbed that on my gravel bike without stopping. To me, that's a really good achievement. So this is a place called Old Winchester Hill, and it's right in the heart of the South Downs National Park. Yeah, I mean, the South Downs Way and lots of trails. I think you've got the Monarchs Way, all sorts of other trails, all crisscross up here, and it's a fabulous view. If you catch it in the mornings, there's a man with a van that does coffee and cakes. I've never managed to get up here in the morning though. But yeah, it's a fabulous place to come up and ride, especially if you like hills. I've descended out the South Downs now off Old Winchester Hill, and I'm at West Meon Station. Well, I say station, hasn't been a station for a long time. It's now a 10 mile, I think, 10 mile gravel track that will take me to Wickham, where I will join the road and go on home. It's a lovely bit of trail. I've covered it in a few videos before, so I'm not going to cover it now. But it's a great way to come out of the South Downs if you want to head to the south coast, because it's pretty flat. It's mostly rideable on any bike, to be honest. And even after the wet weather, there'll be a little bit of mud, but it's not too bad. But I've had a fabulous day in exploring the South Downs Way in Hampshire. I hope you too think to bring your bikes out here and have your own little adventure. I don't know whether it came out very well in the video, but down there is the River Meon. It's only a little river. Yeah, I mean, you can see all the stones at the bottom, but it flows all year. It's very pretty. Sometimes it's just a stream, but it's what this valley is named after, the Meon Valley. Yeah, it's very pretty. Just another bit of useless information there for you, but hopefully will help you appreciate where we are in Hampshire. Usually the Meon Valley Trail is clear. Today, it's not.